Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? I know I was, and I did something about it. Listen in for tips and tricks to keep you and your family healthy.
Broadcasting from the Subaru of Gwinnett Studio inside the Gas South Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia, it's time for Living Life with Leta. Living Life with Leta is presented by Derek Hayes Law. Injured in an accident? Call Derek Hayes Law at 404-777-HURT. And by 5 Strands Affordable Testing. Invest in your health at 5strands.com.
Welcome. We're back in the studio for another amazing episode of Living Life with Leta. I'm Derek Hayes, the host of the show, and with me is Leta, as always, to entertain.
Yes, today is a fantastic show. This show was really created by the listeners and friends and social media followers. This came about because last year I felt like, and we've talked about this on the show quite a bit, my family was sick. Now, we weren't the kind of sick, nothing really detrimental. No one has cancer. You know, we don't have any major illnesses. There's nothing autoimmune attacking us or any one of us. But it was just a year that I felt like I really couldn't get the kids up on solid ground. It was just virus after flu. My son got COVID. My daughter, her immune system, she is just a tank. And she got pneumonia, right? You would go up and down. I mean, everybody, it was just really, the dog got sick. I mean, everybody. And I had the blood clots. We've talked about all this. You guys have been on this journey with me. Well, my word of the year is healthy living. And is that a compound word? Can that be one word? There's a dash in there, right? It's my hyphenated. Healthy living, health, wellness. Give me all that, right? That's what I want to just tie in a bow. That's my word. But because of that, I really wanted to focus on this year what every individual person in my family needs to be healthy. Cooking more, healthy food, more organic food, just all the things you think of as a mom, as, sort of the matriarch of the family, just trying to keep your family healthy. Well, January came, and even though that was my word of the year, here come the viruses. And I feel like they're just stuck on my house. Like
flu got every
frogs,
one of us pretty quickly.
Right? I didn't.
Except for you. I don't think you ever were diagnosed
my daughter
with it.
and I had it in the spring. I don't know, or the summer, whatever. No, the fall, in 2024. Well, I got so frustrated because here we go again. We've just got all this gunk floating through the house, bouncing around from person to person. So I go to my social media and I did a post, and it was really interesting because I did a reel and I'm speaking and I said, I'll do this in quotes for the video, but you guys can hear it, like a content creator. Now, I don't post a ton, even though that's part of what I want to really get behind. I've got all this great content coming off the podcast. And so the blog is set to launch soon. And you've got to post content, right? I'm moving into this space where it's going to be a lot more than just this podcast. There's so much more to share. There's so much more to learn. Well, going backwards, I did a post and I said, you know what? As a content creator, I'm supposed to be solving people's problems. That's what this podcast has always done. But I'm supposed to be on social media, helping people, teaching people, showing you the tips and tricks in my life, which I love doing. But when it comes to health and wellness, I think I'm failing miserably because my family continues to get sick. So social media, you help me. You guys give me your best tips and tricks. Tell me what has been passed down through your family. Tell me your grandma's recipes. Tell me what supplements you take and what vitamins you take. How do you keep your families healthy? Oh my goodness. Did that work? It was fantastic. And I got so much information, but I got to do a little snippet. What was really interesting, as much content as advice, I should say, came through on my social media platforms, which are just Facebook and Instagram. I'm not Twitter. I haven't built my YouTube page yet. I did have some emails. A lot of people sought me out privately. I had a lot of DMs. I had 2 people seek me out in person, and I had specific text messages from family and friends who have my number. They didn't want to be public on social media. That's not part of the show, but I just have to mention that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
To me,
and
right?
You read a lot of those to me at the dinner table. We would sit around and talk. Well, so-and-so emailed me or so-and-so texted me, and this is what she said or this is what he said. And it was interesting because all the people that she talked about, quite frankly, I know them as well. And it was kind of interesting because, like you said, it's almost as if they didn't want their name out there.
They don't want their name out there. They want to share their advice, but there's still a privacy component to it. And maybe it's extremely interesting to me because sharing, I am passionate about sharing. I am behind this microphone because I love sharing and teaching. But as passionate as I am about sharing and teaching and being a student, I don't think I'm I'm maybe an expert in interior design, but that's really hard to do behind a podcast.
There's also potentially some level of fear of I'll put this out there and people will make negative comments or reject the suggestions, the advice I give. Oh, we tried that. That's crazy. It doesn't work.
That's an interesting perspective because I don't have that chip. We've done so many shows on conquering fear and some of the adventures I've done and just some of the just different experiences I've had in my life about conquering fear. But even in this small little setting, even if you have a mom, whether I'm not a mom, just a woman on social media saying, I'm not healthy, my dog's not healthy, my husband's not healthy, my kids aren't healthy, give me your tips and tricks. They still want to do it privately.
Sure, absolutely.
And I know that's a personality thing. I know it's a fear-based thing. I hadn't really thought about it in that
context. It's the negativity
context
of social media.
And that is there. I mean, I see a lot of videos. I watch just moving into this space more than I've ever been. God, I keep getting off on these little tangents, but I remember years ago I had a business coach, and he was when the retail stores were going, and he's part of the questionnaire when he was really digging into all my businesses and my brands, and we were tying them all together as a marketing strategy. He said, "Well, who do you follow?" No one. I said, I don't even enjoy that world. I don't follow. I couldn't give him one person who I was watching on social media. I don't emulate other people. I don't know. I just live my own life. Right.
Yeah.
But I have been watching and really getting on Instagram a little more just to see content and to see how videos are shot and how products are sponsored. I mean, you can't move into that space. It's been a tremendous amount of research. I think I have this podcast thing down well. It comes very natural to me. And that's why the show has been very successful. But the content creation, even though I have no problem putting myself on camera, there is still a formula to it that you have to learn.
Sure.
There's still, strategy and all that. But again, I didn't mean to soapbox on that, like come and bringing it back. The show was born out, today's show was born out of a social media post I did asking my audience for health and wellness tips.
And you got tons of suggestions.
We're going to dig in. Okay, so
information.
without any more, that was a lot of backstory, but I think it really was, there was the interest in there. So if you're listening to this going, I wouldn't have shared that, or I would share it. And that tells you a lot about yourself.
Right.
Would you get on and answer the call to give some advice or not? Would you rather do it privately? And I think that's a big personality question.
A good way to sum this up is many times in your podcast, you'll give your own suggestions about whatever the topic may be, or you'll have an expert that'll come in and discuss, again, whatever the topic may be. But today's show is brought on by lots and lots of suggestions and information from many people, not just you and not just one expert.
A lot of this, I had no idea what these words even were. There were so, yes. I'm like, what? A lot of them ended up being supplements, and we're going to go through them. So I pulled especially what I didn't know and did the research. And that's part of it. I'm not here claiming to be the expert, but I'm going to get the information and I'm going to give it to all of you. So we're all going to have a lot more knowledge at the end of this. Tips, tricks, advice on beating colds, beating the flu, just general health, how to keep everyone healthy, what to take, what to do. And it's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So these are in no particular order. So if you're listening to this, it doesn't mean that you answered first. I really pulled some of this as it was, I was just building the show and doing my own research. So Kim Nunn, she had a lot. She came and I'm going to kind of read these as bullet points, but we're going to go through them. Some of these are going to sound like common sense, but, stay with me here. And if you are driving, you have to listen to it. But if you're not, and you can take a pen and paper or maybe even speak text some of these into your phone, you're going to want to remember the snippets of all this. Number 1, sunshine. Sunshine. Do you remember years ago when I was the first person that we knew that had COVID and we didn't know what to do? I mean, this was in 2020, right? I was
right after the March shutdown
person to get it.
Sure.
Lucky me.
It was late March or early April.
And I remember laying out in the driveway just to get that vitamin D. I was doing anything to make COVID leave my body, and sunshine. And they say, oh, get sunshine.
Yeah.
No, get sunshine. There's
I'll add a
so
little
much
more
benefit
to that. Because when COVID first became a thing, the numbers were coming in from every country, in Italy, and Germany, and France, all these different countries. They're reporting the number of positive tests for COVID, and the U.S. was starting to show signs of just the rapid growth of COVID. But I remember listening to one of the news channels, and they talked about the Caribbean islands and how low the numbers were in the Caribbean islands, and everyone attributed it to being in the sunshine, vitamin D.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember vacationing there, but we don't live there, so I can't speak to this. But I remember them saying, even going down there and vacationing, it's been very little down here. We've had the cases they were having were
minimized.
Us foreigners bringing it to their countries. But yeah, it was much more minimized in that hot Caribbean sun. You're exactly right. And I know if you have the flu, going and laying out is probably the last thing you want to do. But even if you can withstand 30 minutes and just to go sit in the sun, that is absolutely helpful.
It's also the fresh air, too.
Yeah, Kim also said, lose the sunglasses to activate the vitamin D. So she's got some kind of tip in there that it kind of maybe goes through your eyes, not necessarily just your skin, but you gotta be able to see it and bring it through your eyes. Love that. All right, the next one.
Grounding.
Grounding. Where have we heard this before?
Austin from Five Strands.
Yes.
We'll talk more about Five Strands later on. Austin's been a guest before a couple of times.
Twice, yes.
Yeah, and he did reference the fact that he loves to do grounding every single morning. And both of us were like, grounding, what is that?
What is grounding? Okay, so I did my own take on it. I have exactly what grounding is, but I have to tell a funny story. So after Austin was on the show, I'm like, all right, if Austin says do it, I do what Austin says. He's the epitome of health and wellness. And I go out, and we have a very large dog, and it was 6 a.m, and I take the dog out, and I'm in my nightgown, and I throw a robe on, and I'm barefoot, and I am outside. It must have been the wrong month because it was freezing, and I'm out there walking around. Well, I was
barefooted.
The concrete because I'm just not a grass person. I do not like shoes in general, but I don't want to be barefoot in grass. I just don't. I don't like the bugs. So I'm out there walking around my driveway at 6 a.m. My feet froze. I'm like, there's no way this is healthy. I am miserable. But I don't think I was doing it right. I think I needed to do the research. Explain grounding, Derek.
All right, so with that being said, I'm going to read. It's very brief. Grounding, also known as earthing, is a practice that involves connecting the human body to the earth's surface through direct contact. This can be done by walking barefoot on grass, soil, or sand, or by sitting or lying on the ground. The theory behind grounding is that the earth has a negative electrical charge, and when the body comes into contact with it, electrons can be transferred from the earth to the body. This may help to reduce inflammation, improve sleep quality, balance the body's electrical system, reduce pain, and promote relaxation.
So what I'm hearing out of that, Derek, who never sleeps, maybe you need to go lie on the ground outside.
Maybe.
You need the Earth's negative charge to help you go to sleep at night.
Maybe. I don't know if I want to do that at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Well, that's where I got the grass. Notice how it did not say walk around
Soil,
the concrete,
dirt,
asphalt.
grass.
I'm certain that Austin probably
He's
is
mastered it.
barefoot. I'm going to take it a step further. I do feel like Austin has told me privately, and I don't mean this bad, but like I don't think Austin has clothes on because he lives off the grid. I think
he actually said that in our podcast.
Did he? Okay, because I was like, where am I getting this?
But he also lives out in the woods
He
with
lives.
no neighbors
He
directly
lives off
on either
grid.
side.
That's
Right,
a complete
right.
thing for him to do. We live in a neighborhood where I think that would be frowned upon.
Maybe. I do it. Yeah, it's frowned upon. But.
So Kim said grounding. We've given you the definition. Hey, if you guys do grounding, let us know. We're laughing about it a little. It has not worked for me. Clearly, I'm not doing it right. We do let the dog out every morning, so this is something that I can absolutely try. I am the guinea pig, right? All right, yoga. We all know what yoga is. I love yoga. It is one of my, that truly is life-changing. It's one of my most favorite types of exercise meditation to do. Walking in nature, again, I do that daily, every single day. Now with the dog, he forces me to, and that was one of the main reasons that I got him. But nature is my place.
All right, I'm going to take the next one because I had no clue what this was. Sheila Jeet.
I love that
So
word.
much so that we had to actually, Google has the pronunciation part where you can do pronounce and whatever word it may be. So I did pronounce Sheila Jeet to learn how to pronounce that. But
We had some
Shilajit
funny jokes going before the podcast.
is a supplement, apparently. Shilajit is a mineral supplement that supports bone health. It can be helpful for women who may risk osteoporosis. There will be healthy bones consolidated due to frequent use of Shilajit, alleviate joint ache, and prevent bone loss throughout a woman's life.
Okay.
So Shilajit.
It's probably everyone's life. I mean, I can't imagine that women and men have different,
Yeah.
everyone can get osteoporosis.
And
I
just
think
so
it's more
we're clear,
common in women.
Shilajit is Shilagit. So that's a good spelling bee word. It's a
Shilajit.
deceptive pronunciation for the way it's spelled, but nonetheless, Shilajit.
All right, parasite detox. I can imagine that would be absolutely fantastic. I feel like my son needs one of those. He has more of the gut issues. Eating real food. We hear a lot about this all over TV, right? They teach this in school and your health classes.
Real food is in no supplements or no additives rather. And
Correct.
Minerals or things of that nature.
Real food, whole foods, nothing that comes out of a box. I've heard a million times, you stay away from the center aisles in the grocery store. You want, real produce.
Raw food is
raw
another way to pronounce it or to say it.
Yeah, all of that. Nothing processed, nothing sugar, nothing made, chemically.
Okay. I want to go back to parasite detox for a minute. Parasite
Yeah,
detox.
yeah, yeah.
That means you're detoxing yourself of the parasites,
Yes.
or you're using parasites to detox.
No, I think it's detoxing from parasites in your body.
Okay, that's what I figured because I'm thinking I don't want to ingest parasites to detox.
Well, you see those things, it's a little out there. If you've done it, the slugs where they'll put slugs on you and pull things and they'll do things with your blood. And nobody responded with any information with that. I'm thinking parasite detox is a true detox. I've read a lot about cleanses. I've done detox and cleanses. I
Something to
love
eliminate,
them.
yeah.
I love them. You're basically taking all the bad stuff out of your
parasitic
body. Right. And I'm certain that we all have parasites in
I'm
us.
sure we do. And that's why I would not
live in
want to
our
ingest
gut.
them.
No, I know. I don't want to ingest any parasite. And taking a rebounder. The only thing I know about rebounders, no, I'm thinking of binders. I was going to say the rebounder. I know my dad takes a binder that helps bind the proteins of the food. But he is a kidney recipient, and they've put him on a binder for his blood and for different things. All right, I know we are at the break point. We've got to honor and talk about our sponsors that make this fantastic show available.
Let's do that. Let's go to the break.
We'll be
back
right
in just
back.
a minute. Hello, everyone. As a listener of the Status Life with Leta podcast, you already know I'm attorney Derek Hayes. I've been practicing law in the state of Georgia now for over 26 years. My firm specializes in cases involving personal injury, catastrophic injury, nursing home abuse, and any other situation where someone was injured by the negligence of others. As I've said before, if insurance companies ever resolve claims the way they should, I'd be out of a job. But I'm not worried about that happening. Did you know insurance adjusters are trained to pay you as little as possible to protect their company's bottom line? They say they're genuinely concerned about you, but really the goal is to settle the claim with you for far less money than you deserve. My job is to make sure they pay the full value of your claim and nothing less. You can speak directly with me by calling my office at 404-777-HURT. Visit my website at DerekMHayes.com or check out my social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And be sure to catch my podcast, Injury Insider with Derek Hayes, wherever you enjoy your favorite podcast. I look forward to speaking with you.
Tired of experiencing bloating, eczema, diarrhea, or weight problems? Get to the root cause of your dietary discomforts with 5 Strands Affordable Testing. No need to schedule time off work. Just collect and send in 5 strands of your hair to see how intolerant your body is responding to over 600 common food items. Intolerance reactions are not life-threatening like allergies, but are responsible for most daily discomforts. Achieve your dietary and lifestyle goals by visiting 5strands.com and ordering your at-home collection kit today.
Are you a trial watcher? Meaning, are you glued to true crime podcasts or news magazines? Ever watch Court TV gavel to gavel to catch a big trial? Then stay tuned for 5 episodes of a docuseries called Trial Watchers. You'll meet true crime fans who put their lives on hold and learn why. The series is presented by our friends at Derek Hayes Law, the Injury Insider. If you're in Atlanta, tune in to a new episode Saturdays at 1 p.m. after Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV from April 12th through May 10th and on CBS Atlanta May 12th to the 16th at 2 a.m. You can also watch online at DerekHayesLaw.com.
And we're back. Let's talk real quick again about rebounder. We were discussing that right when we went to the break because I want to cover that a little bit better than we did.
We need a little more clarification on that. So I was thinking I had the wrong term, and I was thinking of binder, and it dawned on me as the show was happening. That is not rebounder at all. At all. We couldn't have been, my brain was because we were so many supplements and things you ingest. We were talking about the parasite detox. Rebounding.
It's an exercise.
It's an exercise, right? Some of you were probably going, you were way off base. We were. I love rebounding. I've done it, and I didn't even know that's what it was called. It's one of those mini trampolines where you jump, and it has so many health benefits.
I never knew it had a phrase. I just always thought a mini trampoline, you jump on it. I didn't know rebounder was
it's
actual term for the exercise.
No, it's actually a term for the exercise. Now, I know that a lot of moms, they do it, and I say moms, with hyperactive children. You can do it with any children. Your child does not have to be hyper to have a mini trampoline. But my son did a lot of therapies as a boy, a young toddler, and that was one of the recommended tools they did for him. It has sensory components. It is absolutely fantastic. I want to read just a little bit about, what makes it a good exercise for you. So it works the entire body, including strengthening and toning your core, your back, your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes, and your cardio all in one. But to me, it's easier than jump rope. So jump rope does that. Jump rope, you have to have the rhythm, right? You have to have the coordination, and you stop more. So every time that jump rope messes up on your feet or the ground, you're constantly stopping, which brings that cardio down. If you get on one of these mini tramps, you can just jump and jump and jump and jump and really get that heart rate elevated and work your entire body. This would be a huge bang for your buck. But I have to do a little, pivot
asterisk
on this. A little asterisk, that's a good one. Yeah, because those who should stay away from rebounding would be if you have any back issues, any degenerative disc disease, osteoporosis, sciatica, if you have a pinched nerve or maybe you're prone to pinched nerves. Obviously, it's a lot of pounding on your spine. But again, some of this is common sense, but I feel like as we're talking all things health and wellness, it's important to say.
Sure. And I did not realize, but I've rebounded before too.
Yeah. I
Literally
know.
and
It's so
figuratively.
fun. Yes, it's tons of fun. But I don't know. I didn't know that it was truly, you could buy one of those inside of a health and wellness sort of package for yourself. You just see them all over. But we have a big trampoline in our backyard.
Yes, we do.
I wonder if I mean, I love jumping. It's
Yeah.
so fun. Get out there with my kids.
All right, what's next?
All right. This one is from Susie Ferry. She said vitamin C and zinc. Love that. Yes, take your vitamin C, take your zinc. I've got my entire family on vitamin C right now, just coming out of cold and flu season, knock on wood. I have implemented most everything, and this list is very long. As you can see, there's a lot to this podcast today. I've got everybody on fantastic vitamins. I'll try to do the little snippets. And thus far, since I did that call to action, nobody's been sick. Truly.
Knock on wood.
Truly. Knock
Yes,
on wood.
yeah.
Everybody has been well since we started implementing a lot of these supplements on a very regular basis, not just when you're sick, but more. And so, yes, we all take vitamin C every day. We are out of zinc, but we did take it. I will say when I had COVID, we talked about earlier, that was the 2 supplements the doctor put me on. I actually had you stop. Remember?
Yes, you
I
did.
said, the doctor said take vitamin C and zinc. So I think it's not just a COVID thing. I think it works for all illnesses, clearly. And Susie, thank you. She also said B complex. So that was a separate little take vitamin C, take zinc, and take a B complex. Yep.
Everyone has vitamin deficiencies on some level. So vitamin B, C, D, all of those are great to be able to take on a regular basis to help. And zinc as well, clearly.
I also had this one I wasn't sure of. I had to do a little bit of research on it. Takes Mulin for cough and congestion, drinks Mulin tea.
I would not have any clue what that is.
That's what I mean. It's fantastic to learn all this. You guys just...
Is it nettle tea? Isn't that one?
Nettle? You like nettle.
Yeah.
I actually bought you some nettle tea one time. But yes, it's called Mulin, and you can buy it as a tea. Little sidebar on this. All of these supplements, all of these things, I'm going to link all of this to my social media. So this will all be linked in the link tree. I can do the stories on Instagram, but they only last for 24 hours. So if you're listening to this podcast and it's a month past the air date, you're going to need to find all this. But here's the good news. The blog will be out. So the website, all of this will be linked. This will be the home for all of this content, not just the podcast. livinglifewithleta.com. I've put my heart and soul into that site.
Yes, you
I've
have.
only been talking about it for 4.5 years.
You've dedicated a lot of time and effort to it.
I
as well.
rebranded it. It used to be Status Life with Leta, and as all the Status retail stores closed, and I just felt like it's all about my life, though. Right? The
Yes,
word
it is.
status just didn't hold weight anymore. That was more tangible when it had to do with home decor and the interior design firm. And it's my life, living life. And this show is all about the health and wellness of my family. So I'm excited about it. I'm passionate about it. I rebranded it. I love to share this stuff. So all of this, Mulin tea,
Nettle tea, like I said.
Derek wants me to he likes the nettle tea. I'm going to put a rebounder on there. My birthday's coming up.
Mini trampolines.
I want a rebounder.
I bet Amazon has those.
I will tell you right now in this moment that I'm asking for new running shoes for my birthday.
Okay.
That's the only thing I want.
Yes, she does go through a lot of running shoes. It's not just because she
And I
needs
hate
another pair.
it's one
it's
of
because
those
she
I
goes through
hate
them.
buying them, but it's like
Yeah.
Christmas when they come, right? It's just one of those. It's like buying workout clothes, unless it's fun Lulu stuff. I just, I don't know.
Well, you run a lot. You run an awful lot. You walk an awful lot.
Well, I walk the dog every day. So anyway, okay, moving on. So I will link the teas. I will link the supplements, Living Life with Leta. All right, moving on. Derek, what is the next one?
Oils.
Essential oils.
Yeah, essential oil steamers. Make your own mouthwash with oils. Somebody recommended that as well, which I'll let you elaborate a little more on that part.
Do you remember Joyce and Lou?
I do.
From the store?
Yes, I do.
So Joyce and Lou used to sell doTERRA oils out of my retail store, and she was the one that posted this. So hi, Joyce. Thank you. She said that she makes her own steamers and her own mouthwash. out of doTERRA essential oils. Love that. Love that. Now, I can't link the doTERRA because I'm not a rep, but I can link Joyce. So if
Yeah, do
anybody
that.
hears that and was like, I would love some steamers, great. I will connect you to the person in my life who can help you with that. Okay. The next one, I'm going to go through this one. So this was Mary Jo Heaton, and she said, I'm going to read this in its entirety. This is what Mary Jo wrote to me. The book, Good Energy by Dr. Casey Means has changed my life. She read the audio, or she listened to the audiobook, and it was so good she had to buy the hard copy. She said, it's hard with my teens to implement, but easier with the young ones. So what she meant by that, and I went back and read it again, it's harder to implement the good energy because teens are a little bit older. They're a little bit set in her ways.
Yeah.
But with the young ones, her kids are all ages. So the book, Good Energy.
I'll have to look that one up.
I will link it.
Yeah.
Can I get that for my birthday?
Along with the rebounder.
And running shoes.
And running shoe rebounder.
I'm going to
running
just send
I
you
need
the
a-
link.
I'm going to just listen to this
Call
show over and
Joyce. Get me some Mulin tea.
over. Add a link. Lita's birthday gifts. Put my name
But
next to
y'all,
it,
it's
so-
working. It's working. My family is healthy. Everyone's on vitamins. I love this. Go
Yes.
ahead. All right, Derek, you got the next one.
Fire cider and fermented honey and garlic. That's interesting.
It is very interesting.
What is fire cider?
That one is still a question mark. Fire cider.
Now, it says fermented honey and garlic. Well, I know that if you take local honey, someone who makes honey locally to where you live, that it's supposedly going to have all the pollens that you may have allergies to hopefully build up that immunity by taking that local honey. And I've done that for a long time. I take a spoonful of honey. Supposed to do it every day, and quite frankly, I don't. It's about every 5 or 6 days I'll take a spoonful of honey to try and help up to build the immunities to those local pollens, things of that nature.
I wonder if that's why they don't bother me, because I eat a ton of
Maybe.
honey. I really do. I eat honey or drink it in a tea every day.
Yeah, and that's another way to do
Every
it,
day.
to, as you said, mix it as opposed to sugar. Put honey in tea.
I do.
And make it that
love
way.
honey. I mix it. I make protein balls for my kids with peanut butter, chocolate chips, oatmeal, and I always throw local honey in it. And I'll throw protein powder. They love it. Clearly, we don't have a peanut allergy in our house. Also, my favorite snack in the world is a peanut butter banana, but
Yeah.
I'll throw local honey on it too. So little tips and tricks. But again, that's something I do very naturally, but I always have. My parents eat a lot of honey. No one in my family has any allergies to
Right,
anything.
thankfully, right.
And we're not even native. I live in the South now and have for almost 40 years, but I'm not from here, right? We're all from Michigan. So you would think the pollen and the allergies here would drive me crazy.
All right, tell me about fire cider.
Fire cider is a centuries-old, pungent, and potent herbal tonic made by steeping various ingredients in apple cider vinegar for weeks. So it is a derivative of apple cider vinegar. So when you look it
Interesting.
up, it says maple honey fire cider, and then the next one is apple cider vinegar.
So it's a
cider.
product you can
Yeah.
actually buy that's already made. It's a
Fire
literally
cider.
Fire
It's
cider.
like
It's labeled.
apple cider vinegar. So there's tons of them on here.
And you drink
Lots of. It's just like apple cider vinegar, but like I said, a little
Interesting.
bit different. 2 separate people had responded with fire cider, so that is definitely something.
Who told you about that?
This one, this was Dana Whitby, and there were 2. I didn't catch the other name. I was just highlighting some of these people that I knew, but I remember it being on there twice, and that was one that I had to look up because
Interesting.
I've done the apple cider, I've done the gummies, and a little side note on that, I do not like gummy anything. I'm sorry to all the people out there that make gummy vitamins, make gummy melatonin, it's just so bad for your teeth.
It
Gummy, it's just like gummy worms. That stuff sticks in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in not an argument, but a little dispute with my mom. She was like, "Oh, we're on the gummy vitamins." I'm like, "Mom, that's really bad for you. You shouldn't do gummy." Well, I brush really good. I understand, but you're doing it every single day. And I'll jump ahead because Beth Galvin, She responded with, thank you, Beth, Juice Plus. And I highlighted this because Juice Plus,
We've had those for a long time.
that is an absolute staple for me. I still take Juice Plus every single day. That it is not a vitamin. It can be somewhat of a supplement. Juice Plus is dehydrated in their purest form fruits and vegetables. And if my diet does not have enough nutrients in it, I eat pretty well, but there's plenty of days that I don't. I've eaten maybe a higher fat food or Italian or Mexican. I don't know. I just haven't had, a real great meal with a salad and a ton of fruits and vegetables. Juice Plus to me just fills in all the blanks. And what I was going to say about that, we were talking about the gummies. So my kids were on Juice Plus gummies as children, little, because, it's the best way to get, they think they're eating
Candy.
like gummy bears
Yeah.
and candy, but it's true fruits and vegetables. And we went to the dentist and they both had a mouthful of cavities. So I thought I was doing something really fantastic, and I was. But I had to pull him off all the gummy stuff, and we've not had any cavities since. So I'm sorry to all the makers of gummy stuff. It is my personal belief that anything gummy, especially for your kids, you think you're doing really well. My pediatrician recommended just Flintstones, even for my son who's 16.
That have been around forever and ever.
I know.
I took Flintstones as a kid.
Me too. I know.
Yeah.
We're older.
I haven't taken them in years, but I still
They're
remember
in the
what
pantry.
they taste like.
If you want one,
Right.
we have them. But my 16-year-old is on it with iron. Why not? He doesn't like to swallow the capsules. And then I will take the Juice Plus capsules. I'll take any of them really.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're into the smoothies. And so I'll just throw all the extra fruits and vegetables and the superfoods and the AG1s, and y'all, this could go. I could do 20 shows.
I
about
leave for
this.
the office every day with the smoothie that she's made, and it's
Yes.
got all kinds of things in it.
And sometimes it's green.
Yes.
And I'll say,
and I'll hold the glass up and looking. This one's green.
I always don't look, Derek. Don't, because if he doesn't not eat enough vegetables. He has to be on Juice Plus because that fills in all his gaps. But you probably haven't taken it in a while. I noticed you said we used to have those. They're
Yes.
still in the pantry.
Well, okay.
They're depleting because I take them every single.
That's where they went. I've been looking for
He
them.
is on them. He just doesn't know he's on them because I keep dumping them in those smoothies every morning.
Okay, well then, yes, I am on Juice Plus every day. The vitamins and the
Yeah,
fruit.
no, we all had the capsules, and now I stuck them all in the pantry. So anyway, again, there's so much content. I'm trying to give you what works for our family. I'm trying to give you what everybody has sent in. The do's and the don'ts. I don't like gummy stuff. But also, apple cider vinegar came out years ago. I know it's been around for ages, but it had this big... kind of the hype. It gets trendy. And you're supposed to either take a little teaspoon of it, but if you can't stomach that, they were making it in gummy form. I tried both, but then I got really nervous about the gummy part of it, so then I just started swallowing it. But I'm going to try the fire cider. That's one I haven't bought. So
I have a question about the next one. Life Wave patches. I've not heard of Life Wave patches.
Yeah. So Diane, she messaged me. And I know Diane, she was a vendor in my store many years ago. And what I also know about Diane is she had pretty severe back problems. And she had messaged me and said, oh my goodness, she sent me a DM. You are not going to believe this, but I have found the cure for all of my back pain. And it is these patches. And she even sent me a link. She was speaking at a Lifeway seminar for her testimony that these patches have changed her life and the chronic pain that she felt in her back from her discs and all that. So again, I don't sell Lifeway. I don't
Is it Lifeway or Lifeway?
Oh, what am I saying? I'm
You
just
said wave.
wave. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay,
I'm
that's
sorry.
what I thought.
Lifeway that's a church. Life Wave. I don't want to misspeak that. So thank you, Derek. Again, it's like Joyce who does the oils. I don't personally have back problems. I love that she has found what helps. There may be a million of you out there going, please, I will do anything to help my chronic back pain. This may be the solution. Life Wave. I will link Diane. I will link the patches. If I can even link her talk on how much it helped her. I know you walk a little sideways.
There are times.
After a heavy day of yard work, you're a
Yes.
little stiff and crooked the next day. So
It comes from many, 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 many years of not taking care of my back, from sports to jobs I've worked in the past to just overall health issues.
And Derek broke 3 ribs back in 2019. And you don't have residual unless you do something really strenuous. I've always felt like it was probably how everything healed.
They were displaced
it's
rib
really
fractures.
only after you do something
Yeah.
really physical in that around the house, like
You're
moving
making me squirm
furniture. I
talking
know.
about it.
Anyway, Life Wave patches, so that came through. But again, I will link it all. Stay tuned.
All right. I looking at this, so the next one is one of those that I think we all think about constantly. Eat healthy, especially vitamin C and protein.
Love it. That's from Debbie Cheek. Yes, this is her list.
Hand hygiene. I'm a hand washer. You know that
are.
about me. I
Yeah.
am a compulsive hand washer. I could pick up a jar out of the refrigerator, and if it's sticky, immediately I'll set it down and go wash my hands.
Derek will not leave a restaurant without washing his hands. Even if, he doesn't eat with his hands, right? He eats with his knife and fork. He'll hold his hands up and kind of go, like you do the sticky motion.
Yeah.
He'll go, I got to go wash my hands. He does it every time. And I don't think anything of it. Like, okay, go wash your hands. I don't have that necessity. If I have syrup or something sticky, but I don't necessarily finish a meal and immediately think about washing my hands.
Yeah, and I work a lot with my hands outside. I do lots of home jobs, all kinds of work with my hands. But it's when you get something like sticky or something that's...
No, you're anytime. It doesn't matter, Derek. There's the general hygiene. But anyway, Debbie had said wash, wash, wash. Yes. I think it's those things we forget about.
Yeah.
Right? It's a habit.
Good
we wash
habit
our
to
hands
have.
before we eat. We wash our hands after the restroom. But she's saying absolutely wash your hands constantly, especially during flu season. Don't touch your face. That's where germs get in. Don't, and that was highlighted, don't eat or drink after anyone. And she said she really has to stress this with her children, especially if her children are teens and they have boyfriends and girlfriends and they're all sharing a big gulp, or nope, and not during flu season, just to keep the germs away.
Yeah.
You have to be really vigilant. Get enough sleep, absolutely. And let yourself have permission. I really struggle with that. We should do a whole show on sleep. That should be another topic, because that's a really big thing. But what I mean is the permission to rest even more. Just because life is busy, I struggle with that guilt of, if I rest, how much is not getting done? I think us entrepreneurs, maybe everybody feels like that, right? There's just never enough time in the day. I stay up too late because there's never enough time in the day, and I'm still folding that last bit of laundry,
Yep.
or I want to finish my book, or I want to, even just love on my kitty cats. Like,
I'm thinking about the sleep. For the 7 years we've known each other, you've probably seen me nap, other than times when I was sick and needed to rest. You've probably seen me nap maybe twice, if that,
Maybe.
in 7 years.
maybe.
And so this last Sunday, we both had been working. We'd gone to church. We were doing things around the house, and I came upstairs. It was actually Saturday, I guess it was. It was Saturday. And I'd been doing work in the basement, and she was working in our bedroom and doing other things. And I came upstairs to get something to eat for lunch, and she's standing at the counter next to me, and we weren't even talking about what we were about to do when we were finished eating. But she said, "Hey, I got a question." I said, "Yeah, what?" She goes, "After we eat, you want to take a nap?" And for the first time in my life, I think I said, "You know what? That sounds like a good idea." So what I thought was going to be a 30-minute nap turned into a 2-hour.
You slept for 2
2-hour nap.
hours. Yeah. He must, but I always joke with everyone, especially my kids, because I am such a good sleeper. That has never been an issue for me. I can fall asleep anywhere at any time. I could fall asleep during this podcast if you told me I had 10 minutes and you would wake me up. It has never been an issue for me. And I've said that to my kids. If you're ever sick, they're on the other side of the house, please text Eric. He will hear his phone. He'll hear his phone even if his phone's not on.
I'll hear the neighbor's phone
light
three
goes
three
off.
doors
And
down.
we live on land, right? He's such a light sleeper. Yes, anyway, it's so yes, for you to take a 2-hour nap. I only slept 30 minutes, but again, I know that if I take just a little smidge and I shut it down, I'll be able to go right back to sleep at night.
Now, in my
that's
defense,
really
we'd had a couple of very late nights before. We'd gone to a Braves game and had other things that kept us awake.
And then we
late.
had 4 teenage boys spend the night, and they can be naughty. You got to lock up the liquor and make sure they stay in the house.
Yes.
And so, it was 3:00 the night before.
And when you have, her son had a 16th birthday party, when you have teenage boys staying at the house, I always feel like I need to stay up later than they do.
That's what I mean.
Just to make sure they don't sneak out or get
know,
downstairs in the bar area. So yes, I stayed up later than them, which was a good thing to do.
Well,
but
they were
then
sleeping.
the
They were
effects of it the
good.
next day.
Listen, little side note: if you're ever going to have a teenage sleepover, do it on Fridays because they're more tired from school. If you do it on a Saturday, they tend to get in a lot more trouble. My son is so sweet, but he's got lots of friends. They're just at that age. They're the girls. They're growing up, and I love it for them. But you got to watch them a little closer, than a 10-year-old sleepover where they all pass out at 10 o'clock, right? Yeah. So anyways, enough about that. All right, we are coming to the end. I know this has been a jam-packed, hopefully extremely informative show. MJ was my last guest on the show. If you have not listened to that show with MJ's book, oh my God, she's a fantastic speaker. She is knowledgeable. She is a businesswoman. I mean, MJ is just a force. And I was so grateful. The writer that she is, she sent me an entire paragraph about her health and wellness. And I just want to read it because there's so many nuggets in here of wonderful information. Here it is. You asked who the second person was. And I even made a note of it. Second person about the fire shots. Fire cider shots was MJ. So she said, fire cider shots, apple cider vinegar shots, or pills. See, no gummies, okay? During cold and flu season, organic lemon and or oranges that I cut into slices and chunk. She will put these in tea. Eat them or put them in tea. But big chunks of orange in tea, that would be fantastic. I love oranges. I'll just eat, even with the sticky on the hands. That's probably why you don't eat them. But see how it all comes full circle here?
It does.
All right. Yes. I then chunk up fresh ginger. I add these to a glass jar with a cinnamon clove and a little cayenne pepper. Yes. MJ, send me some of that. Then smother all with local honey. I keep in the fridge and add a spoonful of hot water as needed. I also make a big batch of elderberry syrup, and then I freeze it into ice cubes. Yes! This sounds amazing. Pull
out a cube.
Yes. This is, yes.
Pull out a cube
Sorry about
of the
that.
elderberry ice.
You know, when you're typing on social media or speak texting, thank you for deciphering,
Yeah.
And add to hot water when you feel something coming on. We use Navage to keep navel cavities cleaned out and flush germs. doTERRA sells On Guard. That's the oils. Yes, On Guard is fantastic for diffusing. And she puts it on her feet. Rub on your feet and put on cozy socks. Eat seasonally. Your body is depleted of vitamins in the winter. It's probably why my whole family got sick. Hit the farmer's market. Frozen blueberries pack a punch all year. Yes, MJ. I just feel like her house is probably so healthy.
That's right.
Listen, this is a tip for MJ. I want you to make those little jars and give them to everybody that you know for Christmas presents.
That's a good idea.
That would be a fantastic Christmas present. My girlfriend, Melinda, who is a mutual friend of MJ and I, she gave me a jar of local honey that I literally opened yesterday, thought about Melinda, which makes it a fantastic gift, and I have not been sick. So That's the gift that keeps on giving, right?
Right. And I know there was one that had made a couple of suggestions on your post as well. Larkin, my sister-in-law.
No. She was one that was private.
Oh, she was? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Derek just said your name out loud. And she's a show listener. No, I don't think she would care. But that was another one. She responded, and I thought this was really good. Again, it sounds like common sense, but it is not. And she said, complete rest. And you're like, okay, I'm sick. You are forced to rest when you are sick. But taking the rest when you feel something coming on, that is not something we do. We push through. We take our Dayquil. We take our Tylenol. At some point, we might see a doctor. But until we are forced to rest, that's what I was saying, the permission. I would never allow myself to truly... I couldn't look at you and say, you know what? I feel something coming on, so I'm not coming to work today. No, what I would say is I'm going to pop some Tylenol sinus and I'll be in an hour.
Yeah.
And you just take all your supplements and you do all the things. And yeah, it's but I loved when she wrote that. She said, I mean everything. You just literally get off your feet and you completely rest and you let your body heal naturally and do what it is meant to do with your own immune system. Take the herbs, take the supplements. It sounds amazing. It sounds restorative. And yet so few of us do it. So I did have one person, I wanted to make note of this. They said, we were talking about exercise. Oh, here we go. It was Debbie. She said the don't eat or drink, get enough sleep. And we kind of digressed off Debbie's list at that point. Drink lots of water. Yes, yes, yes. That's an easy one for me because I only have one kidney, so I chug water all day. And exercise. So this one to me is interesting. Exercise. Now, I love the rebounder. I think that could be a short little snippet of a 5-minute, a 10-minute. But as an avid runner, dancer, I've been somewhat of not a professional athlete, but I've been athletic my entire life, and I still am. When I feel like I'm getting sick, and I've tested this both ways, it absolutely throws whatever illness I have into a level 10 if I go exercise. It does not work for me. Being a runner and I'm training for something, if I feel like I have a cold and I go run, I will be down and out the next day every single time. And I have trained with people. You hear this. And yes, I exercise daily to ward off illness and to be healthy. But if I am sick, it always makes me sicker. So that's me. That's my personal testimony. She did throw it in there, so I didn't want to, leave that off of her list. But I have friends and running buddies and some serious, running guys that I used to train with in the track club. They'll say, I'm not feeling well, so I'm going for a run. They are the polar opposite. I'm going to go run this out. I've heard that a million times. I'm going to go knock this out on a run.
Sweat it out.
Sweat it out.
That's it.
I don't know. That's one that could be up for debate because it has never, ever, ever once worked for me.
Same
it
thing with
wears
the sauna.
me down.
You'll hear people that'll say, I'm feeling sick. I'm going to go get in the sauna and sweat it out.
I could probably do that.
Yeah,
I
you're
like
not having to do
that
as much
element
work
of sweat out, but
sitting in the sauna
when
and
my
sweating it
immune
out.
system is down and I go for a workout and I break it down even further, I always get sick. So I will, even if I have a cold, I will pull out of whatever exercise I have planned.
And to tie a lot of this together, we talk about our sponsor, 5 Strands Affordable Testing, all the time. But let's talk about the health benefit of knowing what food intolerances you have, but also, too, some great products they have now in addition to the initial products they put on the market.
They are constantly adding new health and wellness intolerance testing to their repertoire, of
Yes.
everything that they have. I think it started with just the original test that we've done and talked
The
about
food.
many, many times, the food intolerance testing. We've tested our dog. We realized that he has a severe intolerance to everything except chicken. He can
Yes.
eat chicken and probably turkey, poultry. That is it. We gave him beef once by accident. And it was a long, late night for Derek because I was out of town and the dog got really, really sick out
And when
the
you have a
back end.
110-pound lab that doesn't eat something
He can't
or eat
have a
something
bad
that doesn't
stomach.
agree with him.
His intolerance
That's a bad
testing,
thing.
that information was so valuable to us. But I did, like Derek said, this is a health and wellness podcast. Their information is so important to the way that we eat and the way that we move in our kitchen with our entire family. We've tested all of our kids, all 4 of them. And now you don't even have to send additional hair samples. If you're in their system, they have a test that will test 230 plus essential oils. They will test 99 plus beauty products. If you want to know, oh my God, for me, oily skin, acne prone, I would love to know about my skin and what products are out there that make my skin go crazy.
I'm thinking about teens and
Yes.
how beneficial that would be.
Yep.
190 environmental items.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is interesting.
the toxins in our environment for you, I know it's not allergies, But if there was dust or, some of the things we're going to have to go forward with this and do all this testing.
60 heavy metals and minerals,
And
60 additional heavy metals.
You hear a lot about those being in your body and doing cleanses for those. So 5 strands, it's the number 5 strands.com. If you go to their website and it asks for a promo code, you can put in Leta, Leta 10 and get 10% off.
That's the number 10.
That's the number 10. Any of their testing. So we love 5 strands. We love that they support the show and sponsor the show as one. But my goodness, we talk about their products every week.
Incredible products.
It's
very beneficial.
Absolutely amazing. I want to end on one little snippet in that I hope this was informative. I hope you learned as much as I did. Keep it coming. If you've just listened to the show and you didn't see my social media posts, maybe you're just following me for the first time, feel free to email me. It is hello@livinglifewithleta.com. Okay, hello@livinglifewithleta.com. That's my email, or just go to that in Living Life with Leta on Insta and send me a DM. But I want your tips and tricks. This is ever evolving. I am, somebody sent me this for my daughter. She was getting super worn out. She's an extreme athlete in volleyball, and a mom sent me, this is what my daughter was on, sent me a vitamin bottle when my daughter played competitive volleyball. And my daughter is on it, takes it every day, and has not been sick since. So what I wanted to end with is this is a combination of everything. This is not just doing the rebounder and exercising. This is not just taking vitamin C. This is not me taking my Juice Plus. It is not one thing. If you saw, I read what MJ does 10 different things. She probably does 30 different things and, couldn't put it all on there. It's like, health and wellness is a lifestyle. These are just the tips and the tricks that you may not know about. I didn't know about most of this stuff. There's other supplements in here. Astragalus. Somebody sent me that. What does that mean? It sounds like asparagus.
Sheila Jeet's my favorite.
Sheila Jeet's. We didn't know that. We didn't know a rebounder was a trampoline. I thought it was something you take that helps with protein. That's the point of doing this. We are learning so much. Black seed oil, I learned about that. We learned about grounding and that I did it completely wrong. You need to do it naked and go lay in the grass. I don't know. But it's
only if you live on land without neighbors. I'll put that little additional item there.
So much information. I love it. Thank you for listening. Living Life with Leta. I'm here to bring all of this to you. I love to guinea pig it. I've got a fantastic show for the next one. I have met with a stylist, a fashion stylist, but she is the oracle of style. That is her business. So she completely ties together health, wellness, your personal look, spirituality. She is a doctor, PhD out of UGA. She is going to come and play in my closet, and we are going to bring all this information. But again, I love to guinea pig and just tell you guys everything that I know. Follow me. The blog is launching on May 1st. I'm so excited. Long time coming. I've been teasing it for years, but I finally got it going on. Living Life with Leta.
Well, a final reminder, Living Life with Leta is brought to you by Derek Hayes Injury Law and 5 Strands Affordable Testing. Please make sure to subscribe and like and go back to any of your podcast platforms to listen to prior episodes of Living Life with Leta. And until next time, we'll see you here again at Living Life with Leta.